Hello out there wherever you are. As for me, bienvenue to a very rainy St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. And we're here for one specific reason. About 3 to 4 years ago in the United States, I did a video saying goodbye to my main Toysrus, the one that I've known basically my entire childhood. All Toysrus stores in the U.S. closed. They started to introduce them inside, I think it was like Macy's stores for the holiday, but they just kind of bought the name. So it wasn't really Toysrus, it was just like a small section of toys, and they just put the Toysrus branding on it. But in Canada, Toysrus still exists. From bikes to trains to video games, it's the biggest toy store there is. So, I haven't been inside a Toysrus in years. So, we're going to step inside Toysrus in Canada because it still exists. And arguably, you know, it should exist. So we're going to step inside, we're going to see what's doing in there, and we're just going to get into it on Tom Was Here.
Hey, how do you like this? I'm Dan Israel, and you're watching Tom Was Here.
I picked a hell of a day to go to Canada. It is rainy. It's been raining all morning. It's constantly raining. I'm hoping it, can kind of clear up so I can go check out some other stuff, but we'll see how it goes. Even has the old signage that hasn't been changed since the 80s probably. Stepping inside. And I was like, well, maybe it'll be different in Canada. Maybe it won't be, like I remember it, but it's exactly the same, barring new movies and such. But yeah, wow, they really have it packed to the gills. Every time I went to Toysrus the last few years, it was like empty shelves and like, no, this is like stocked. Look at that, as far as the eye can see, stocked. Wow. Those Canadian prices though, oof. Look, old-timey G.I. Joe, $22.99 for just that regular, that's not even G.I. Joes. They're just kind of those basic, G.I. Joes, their elbows could bend and stuff, but they got the brand name, they're running with it. But yeah, $22.99 for that. It's not cool. Oh wow, they have the old-timey Ninja Turtle stuff. What I find weird is that they replaced, I think, what is the video game section with this fan vault section. I don't see video games anywhere. Maybe they don't carry them at Toysrus in Canada or in Toysrus anywhere. But they do have Funkos. And as you can see, Funko Pops are final sale because they want to get rid of all of them. So they have board games, including Monopoly Prism there. 1 starter pack and 2 Prism packs. That might be something to consider. But, yeah, no video games that I can tell, which is pretty crazy. And then it's a Babies R Us section. So Babies R Us is on that side, so they kind of merged the stores. But yeah, it's basically how I remember it with the lack of video games. It looks like the video games have been reduced to this buy one, get one 40% off bin, and that's it. That's what they got. Wow. That's pretty crazy. And these prices, Far Cry for $55. There's not anything for real cheap. Games that have been out for a while that are still 22, 62, 55. Yeah, there's no the prices are when they came out prices. So yeah, it's buy one and go on 40% off, but they're no $20 games here. They're playing the Magnum PI theme song. They're really embracing that 80s deal, aren't they? I don't want to leave Toysrus without buying something, but what to buy? All this stuff is really kind of expensive. It's like Canadian provincial tax. They get you with that. Especially Ontario. But yeah, I don't know. Big Tom. $160 for Big Tom. Man, that's pricey. Old reliable Hot Wheels. Even many years later. I mean, I remember that when they were like $1 a car, 50 cents a car. Now it's $2.29 per car. But still. Oh, then again, I'm like Canadian provincial tax, but that comes after. So it's going to be $2.29 plus like a, who knows what level charge for that. You know, I get licensing like famous cars from movies and TV shows, but like Yellowstone, Smokey the Bear, Lost. I don't even remember who drove that in Lost. Like Coming to America, I kind of understand maybe, but Lost? That's weird. Oh, so I got some clearance. I don't know what these are. The Funko Gold Legends. And I know my son, so just gonna get this Westbrook, even though he's been to like 5 teams since then. Why are there so many Zach Wilsons on the shelf here? In Canada, there's so many Zach Wilsons. No Penguins that I can see. Denied. Although they are mostly Canadian teams, I guess they got Boston there, but everything else is Canadian. Well, yeah, except for Boston. Yeah, they have like a whole Barbie the movie display. You think this would be, I mean, a movie about the toys, like hitting right at home at the Toysrus for sure. That makes sense. And of course, it's still raining. But yeah, very cool to be inside a Toysrus for the first time in how many years. You know, like I said, it was just kind of the see the differences between Canada and what I remember from the U.S. But despite my best efforts, it is still raining, so we're going to do the rest of this in the car. Well, that'll do it from Toys R Us, St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. I did look at this Toys R Us Canada bag. You know, maybe foolish to some of you, but you know, a Toys R Us bag is not something you see in the United States anymore. I didn't pick up too much on there. I wasn't gonna have like a full shopping spree. It was more just to buy something. These were on clearance. Like I said, Russell Westbrook has switched about how many teams since then, but the boy loves them. It's his favorite player, so I'm sure he would be fine getting this. So yeah, that is it was like $8 or something. And then I got this, my daughter's a big proponent of penguins, and I just got this stuffed penguin. She has a bunch of stuffed penguins, so this will just be added to the pile. But I was trying to figure something kind of in the same price point. This was a little more than the Funko, because the Funko was on clearance. But yeah, just out of curiosity, I was curious about the taxes here. So the penguin was $10. The figure was $8. So it was $18.02 plus HST of 13% to make the total $20.36. So yeah, that'll do it from Toys R Us. You know, Toys R Us was such an important place, you know, in my life growing up, and kids of the 80s and 90s growing up. It had everything. It had every toy you'd want. It had every video game you want. I'm sure I wasn't the only one that, like, remember those I think it was on Nickelodeon, where, like, the kids would have, like, the 5 minutes to roam around and, like, stuff as much stuff as they could in their cart. I know I wasn't the only one that dreamed about something like that. But, yeah, it was just really cool to actually see a active functioning Toys R Us in 2023. I'm sure to Canadians this is old hat, but if you didn't grow up with Toys R Us, this might be lost on you. But for people that did grow up with Toys R Us, especially kids that grew up with Toys R Us, you know, it was such a cool experience to just be back and, you know, check it out and see what it's all about. I also spent my Canadian fund money over there. I did a little currency exchange and drop my Monopoly money to get all that stuff. But that'll do it. Toys R Us, St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. Guys, thanks so much for watching. If you are new here, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to support me on Patreon like John Bailey did, you can do so. Link is in the description below. If you'd like to buy a t-shirt, a Tomwashere t-shirt, you can do so at Spreadshirt. as well as links to my eBay store, Facebook page, Instagram, TikTok, and the Pennsylvania Autograph Collectors Association. Links are in the description below. But when it comes to Toysrus, still active in Canada in 2023, I can say that my name is Tom and I was here. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe. Bye, everyone.